Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Views Podcast. This is your co-host, Legit, and this week we do not have Grix with us, so I will be taking over. But I'm with two players in the community doing the podcast today. We have Mocon and we have Papa Bear. Say what's up, guys.
What's good?
Up.
So, like I said before, Grix will not be in the podcast this week because he is taking a little break. I believe he's also not doing next week, but I'm here. I'm going to be covering it. So this time we're going to be doing two players for two podcasts. I picked these two because we got some juicy stuff going in the podcast today. These guys were into a lot of drama, throughout the week. So I think they were two players that definitely needed to be on the podcast. So, yeah, first thing we're going to be talking about, of course, we always start off with the roster changes of the whole week, and there's a lot of roster changes that has happened. I'll go through about 3 or 4 that I know of already. Not really a roster change, but Scruzzer ended up picking up Joel, I believe. If I'm not wrong, they picked up Joel.
Yeah, they
So
did.
that's kind of, I guess, a roster change because we didn't know their fourth for the last podcast. We have Josh's team. No, we expected it. I said in the last podcast. We also have Mocon's team that recently had the roster change, and I believe there's one more, but I just can't put my.
Isn't Crit's team or Shifty, whatever?
I think
Remember?
Crit and Shifty were with Josh. So,
Yeah, they are,
oh,
I think.
They're not with them
also,
anymore.
yeah, a team that we actually didn't talk about was Nick's team, Nick's old team. I believe it was Fatal and two others that I really don't know about, but they ended up making a roster change that was pretty big, and so we're just gonna be talking about those four. I actually want to start off with Josh and Nick's team because they kind of have, I guess, a whole big story behind it. I don't know if you guys know anything about that, but basically, Josh's team broke up once again. Shifty and Josh went to team with Nick's old team. 2 days later, they stopped teaming, and now I believe Ethan ended up joining your team, right?
Yeah.
So Ethan joins your team. Josh, I believe, is still looking for a team or something like that, and then Shifty's team, I'm still not aware of. So, Ryan, what's kind of your thoughts on all that?
I mean, that what's it called? Nick's team has been going on and off a lot. So like, it wasn't really a big surprise about him being a free agent again. But it was like Ethan was teaming with Lexter for 4 years straight though, and it was a big deal for him to at least run with us. So I thought that, and because I know he's good and stuff, he used to team with Knicks, and every time we scrimmed them almost every single day, and it was just like he was the only one that really standing out for me. And me and him were like really close. Basically, we were just really good friends. And then like I was just talking to him about my team situation, and he said that he would want to run with us because he didn't want to go to ETG unless we had a really confident team. So I thought that was a really good opportunity. I mean, we were running with Gotti for 2 days, and we just didn't really think he fit in with us. So we just decided to team with Ethan because he could carry his own weight and communicate a lot more than God assist.
Yeah, and you guys recently had Austin Keys. So I know the whole situation was, I believe Austin Keys said he was quitting.
He's left the team
So he,
just because he felt like he was holding us back.
alright, yeah. So I mean, I don't really see it. I thought you guys had a pretty decent roster before, but do you think Fatal is more of a, like a better option? Do you think it's the same thing as Austin Keys, or do you think maybe you guys downgraded?
I think it's an upgrade. I mean, it's definitely a different role than Austin, or about the same almost actually, because they both really like the sub uh, role, and I think Ethan is just a lot smarter and has a lot more experience on LAN, and he's been playing comp for a long time. So
Yeah,
it's
that's
good.
yeah, I've never really heard of Ethan overall, but I've seen him in scrims and I think he's pretty good. I mean, Liam, I don't know if you really fall into this kind of circle, but I know that you've really had a solid roster for almost a year. Well, you guys have like a really set three that you guys have from the last ETG. So I mean, what's your thoughts on all these roster changes?
My thoughts are just. I think all the roster changes is like it makes sense if you think like they picked up. Wait, who did you pick up from? I already forgot.
Ethan Fatal.
Ethan
Yeah,
Fatal.
Ethan. He's as good an individual player, and if he has the right team, he's definitely gonna do good. Um, but having a set roster for like a long time before an event definitely gives you more chemistry and more bonding with your teammates. It will definitely make you better. But yeah, if you find the right player for your fourth and you bring them onto your team and you fits and yeah,
Yeah. So I mean, well, all these roster changes though, as I said before, you guys really have a solid roster for a while.
yeah.
Do you think these teams are just kind of taking it to an extreme, or do you think sometimes it's necessary, sometimes it's not?
I mean, like my team, we've been teaming since the beginning of IW. We went to the March 4th Ninja Rod together, and I couldn't go to the last one, so they got a fill in. And just teaming with the same team, if you make mistakes, it's easy to fix them than just picking up someone. Like if someone has a bad week and they're just making dumb plays, not doing the right things, and you just drop them, I mean, you're not really going to learn anything because you would pick up a new guy and he does the same thing. You might as well just teach the player what he's doing wrong, make him better, and make you guys better as a unit.
I like that. I like that. I like that. I mean, but overall, I think these roster changes are pretty basic. Scarzer's team picked up Joel. Congrats to them.
That's a good squad.
Aries was the player of the week, I believe, for last week for me, or he was a player of the week for me, or one of these weeks, and I've always known him as a good player. So congrats to him. Also, I believe there was the fourth rusher. I forgot who I mentioned. Oh no, it was your team. My bad. Yeah. So everybody's team has really had better options, and 12 days until NJ Rod or ETG. My bad. Definitely these roster changes kind of affect it because you're getting closer and closer to the event. But congrats to everybody that's had it. You guys have any closing options or opinions?
I think all the roster changes have been made as pretty set squads. Like, Ethan Fiddle is definitely a good team. That's definitely a good pickup from Mokon. That's definitely a team to look out for, definitely. And Aries' team is also really good, Squazer's team.
Yeah. So
So I think all the roster changes are necessary. I'm not going to do well on land.
yeah. All right. So next topic, pretty juicy topic actually, and it involves you, Liam. Basically, you and Gunky got into some drama. I've seen a lot on my TL, for I follow both of you guys. You know, what's everything between that? What's your story around it, and was it necessary? Was it not? I'm just really confused about everything.
Well, the whole argument wasn't really necessary. We just put him in a pickup scrim. It was like, I think it was like late at night, and we just were like messing around. We weren't trying. We were just killing each other, team killing. And Gookie was running around just killing us, and he dropped like 36 kills. And his teammates combined only got like 6 kills. So even though we beat them like 0-16, he blamed it on his teammates, which makes sense. I was just messing around with him when I'm saying like you dropped 31 pointless kills and still lost 0-16. And then he said something like, "Who are you? What have you done in this game?" And I was like, "Top 16 at NJ Rod," which I mean it isn't a good placing. That's not what I wanted. That's not what my team wanted. And he said that I bragged about it, and then I don't know, it just tilted me. And I was like, I asked what he did in this game, and he said nothing because he only had a game for a week. And then just got into a little argument about his placings in BO3.
Yeah, dude.
It was pretty unnecessary.
Yeah, I saw a lot about it. I mean, Gunky is pretty a player that has always had good placing in BO3, but
Yeah.
I feel like he's really washed up since.
He also took the break and went to like military school and got his high school diploma.
Yeah, so he hasn't
Yeah.
really been playing, and I guess he's going to this event, and I don't think his team's that good. So
Yeah.
if he goes, I think he's gonna end up getting one of his worst placings ever.
Yeah.
But consistent player. I just kind of feel like he has an ego. That's something that.
Yeah. His ego from the BO3 placings.
Yeah, and you also talked about a Periscope where he was really bashing you. What was that all about?
Oh yeah, he started a Periscope and I joined it, and he was talking about me and Tylech and how we were shooting his body because we just weren't trying. It was he said that we are nobodies in this game, and he said a lot of people in this game have no skill. Like he brought up Forlo and how back in BL3 he was a nobody, and in this game now he's like a top player. And he was like, this game takes no skill. And I made it my own Periscope. I was like, BO3 was a completely different like game. Like there's pick and ban. There was like I don't know. It's just a different game. Different players rise in different franchises.
Yeah, I saw that. And I saw also Forlo really tweet about it. How Gunky didn't pick him up, and now he's like really a top caliber player. And I feel like for people to use that as an excuse, or like some sort of comeback is pretty stupid because
Yeah,
it's like anything. If there's new rules in the game and someone becomes better, you're not gonna really bash them for being better on the new rules because
yeah,
it's new rules for everybody. If it's a new game, it's a new game for everybody. It's not like he chose to go to IW. If he wanted to play,
yeah.
he was really forced to play the game. So Gunky to really say that, oh, that Forlo, the game takes no skill. I understand it's a bad game, but in a way, it's the same concept, same, really. You have jetpacks, you have like team strats, and just all about communication. So I
Hmm.
saw that pretty stupid. And I know Mocon, you ended up teaming with Frollo. So kind of what's your thoughts about that? You teamed with him under Soul, and then you ended up, I think, leaving or getting dropped. I don't know the situation. We talked about it last time, but what's your thoughts on really these BO3 players kind of coming at a lot of the IW players and saying that they're irrelevant and it's a new game, so they're bad, blah blah blah.
I actually like. I really never knew most people I talk to now and that played BO3. Like I really didn't know anyone. So like, I think if some people weren't anything back then, and maybe it's just like because they didn't go to lands back then, and they could have been like really good, and just like nobody heard of them. Or maybe it's just because people were just got better and sick and tired of losing, and they started grinding the game more, and they started to get a lot better, and just got a set roster that like just made them feel like they were dominant or like on top of the world basically. And it just I don't think people should judge people just because they're good at one game. It's just maybe next COD they'll be like a lot better. I don't know. It's just people's opinions.
Yeah, and it's not really like a lot of these esports games, like CS:GO. You really don't change games. You really have the same game for years and years. Call of Duty is a basic, 1 year process, and then after 1 year, if you don't really grind it, you have next year to really glow up. So these players in BO3 that didn't really grind, they came to IW and they're like, hey, let me, actually take this serious, and then I'm doing good. So that's a lot of players right now that are top caliber. I feel like for Gunky to really disrespect them for that is pretty immature. I just kind of feel like he's really looking for excuses at this point. So
That's it. That's literally exactly what happened to me in BO3. I went to my first event ever with ETG 13, and in BO3 that we got DFR'd. We played One Nation first round, and then Seoul when I had Murders on it. And after that, I was like, wow, I really hate losing. And I just was like, I'm beginning of IW, I'm not gonna stop playing. And then we got to set 4. We've been me and Breezy, Weeps, and Projo. We've been playing literally since day one together. Like we had one little breakup for I think 3 days. We realized that splitting up is chemistry is literally key.
yeah, and I feel like a lot of teams really need that. They need to know that even though you might not have the best roster, process is key. So really grinding with your squad makes a difference. So yeah. Um, anything else you guys want to add on, or we'll head over to the next topic?
Yeah,
I'm good.
yeah, I think covered it all.
Alright, I think one more topic that we can really talk about is kind of your side of this whole Periscope. Um, and well, really for Ryan, there was also a lot of bash on other players from Spartan Call of Duty's Periscope. I know you were heard about it. A lot of people were talking about it, and how he was bashing a lot of the players. He got a lot of hate for it. What was your thoughts on that, and where do you kind of fall in this whole situation?
Well, first off, he was only really mad at me because like I always do, like almost every single day. And I have my own Discord, and I banned him from it because a lot of people don't like him or they don't pick him in money eights, and he's just like a really toxic player to be around. And I've never played with him personally, so like I don't know why he would start bashing me and saying I'm trash and kill whoring. But then he brought like my teammate SKS into it and said that he kill whores, which is totally like not correct. I mean, people say I kill whore. I think I do sometimes, sometimes I don't. It's really just what I'm just doing that day. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing half the time. But anyways, I think that he was totally out of line, just like making a whole like Periscope about it too. Like he could just like DM me or something, but like he was just really salty that he just couldn't play Money Eight's lobby, which I think was just kind of childish. And he was also saying, I mean, I'm not gonna like try to bash him, but he was also saying he would like place really good at majors if he was old enough. But I'm pretty sure he's saying like locals are a waste of time, but I think locals aren't a waste of time because it's getting this LAN XP built up, getting a set roster for when you guys do all turn 18, and then competing at a major and having a better chance.
Yeah, dude. And like, I feel like a lot of players really get bashed for the way that they play, and I feel like, kill whoring is really something that I think excuse-wise, people have been using. Recently. I've never really heard it in BO3. I think I've heard it like once or twice, but this game has had a lot of new, like, I guess, kill horror. You have, jokes and stuff. This game is really
Cameras
involved.
and all
Yeah,
that.
cameras. It's really involved a lot into kind of the way that people play. And I feel like, if you're going to be mocked for the way that you play, I feel like it's not really your fault because it's the way that you play. If you're used to playing one way, you shouldn't be bashed for it. And if it works for a team, it works for a team. And if someone is really kill whoring on your team, I think they should try to counter it because it's easy to counter. Not anything that's, like kill whores, that means that they're winning the whole map. They kill whore, you just play a little more passive, you wait for the kill whore. You get him, and then next thing you know, you have full control because he kill whores and then you lose spawns. So for him to really be that, I guess, disrespectful from going to getting kicked because people don't really like the kid to going on a whole rant on Periscope, getting even more hate, I feel like it's something that a lot of players don't really learn. Once something happens to you, you gotta just take it and then say sorry or just be quiet about it and then wait for it to kind of pass through. I don't know if I was on the Periscope. I think I gotta go and watch it over again, but I think it was pretty stupid. Spartan's a good guy. I've played with him before, but I feel like the way that he really has his in-game, I guess, alleys, the way that people know him as Spartan is really not good. But, if you meet Cole, and you really talk to him when you're not playing, he's a good guy. I don't know how other people really take it, but, I've had some laughs with him. So I'm not going to bash on the guy, but I feel like he's really taken his, his personality wise in game and out game, he's taking it, to an extreme. So, yeah. I mean, do you guys have any thoughts? I know Liam. I don't know if you were on the podcast. I'm not my bad.
I didn't watch it.
Yeah, I really didn't watch it. Did you hear about it? Like, did you see it on your TL?
Yeah, I heard about it. I heard people say that like doing that was just made him like people more hate him more. He
Yeah.
kind of dug himself a deeper hole by doing that.
And
Could have went about it a different way.
it's pretty stupid as well because I feel like people are, not taking to heart that the way that people really think about you is
Yeah.
how they're gonna stay with you. Like, for an example, kind of back in BO3 and around the beginning of this game, like I was really known as not being the most stable teammate, and it really got me to the point where now I can't even play competitive. Like, I feel like I can come back because I really gained people's trust, but back then it was really hard for me to find teams because people were like, "Oh, he's in the ditch," blah blah blah. I know you guys heard it multiple times probably.
Yeah.
So I kind of feel like people got to really take it to heart that when people think about you a certain way, they have to you really have to stay to the you have to stay to it in a good way. You can't, if you're being someone good in this community, you can't just all of a sudden start being bad because then people are gonna remember it. But I feel like in the same way, good kind of contradicts bad. So if you're doing something bad, you can really kind of make it up with a lot of stuff in the community. So I feel like Spartan can really, I guess, take it to heart and not really be an asshole. And I feel like people can kind of gain his trust. But right now, the kid's hated by a lot of people. So,
Yeah.
it's pretty funny though. But I mean, any thoughts on it? Do you guys really have those backstories about people not liking you, or, any backstories of how you used to play compared to now?
No, I mean, if you catch people on the wrong day, like the other day, Luke and Creativity, Damien got to a fight about brackets, and now they were just playing today. Like, if you catch people on the wrong day, they're just not in a good mood, they're losing or something, they're just not happy, then
Yeah,
you're just gonna get together the next day.
I actually wanted to talk about what was that whole situation with the bracket because I saw a little bit about that.
It's just I don't know. Like they both had two different opinions about the brackets. I don't really know much about the brackets, but
Was it the actual game, like game mode bracket, or like actual like?
it was like NJ1 bracket and how it worked. Like if top 24 is tied for like I don't even know. I don't remember.
Oh, that yeah. I don't know. I saw a lot about it, but yeah. I feel like people also take placings a lot, like really serious. I feel like if you don't have a good placing, 2 events out of like 5, makes you a bad player. When
Yeah.
anything can really happen. Um, in game and out of game, you never know. Like maybe someone's not playing enough. They go to the event just to have fun, and then they end up getting a bad placing, and then it really, you know, does it bad for them. But that's also another thing that people really bounce back from. I know Furlow got first event. He ended up getting DFR'd. So he was really not. He didn't really show his skill until this game. Then he ended up, kind of turning into this top 3, top 4 caliber player. Now that he has Soul, I feel like he's had a really impact on a lot of people. I know Ryan, you were part of that team as well, with Forlo and them. Did you feel like people were really putting a lot of pressure on you? Did you feel like people were scared to play you guys when you joined them? Because you kind of had the inside of their team.
I mean, it took like 2 hours to find just one scrim, and it was usually a scrim that we just didn't get practice off because of their name and stuff. But now it's like I have the same problem with my team now, the scrim us, and it's just like I really liked being on Soul, and it's just like it was a great opportunity and a great like chance to team with them. But like if they didn't want me on the team, it's just how they felt. So I don't know. I think Forlo's a good guy and stuff.
I think scrimming Soul and like your team Mokon, it like losing is just learning. Like when we lose, we're like, oh, we weren't doing this right, we weren't doing that right, we didn't hold spawns here, and we need to work on that. Like my team likes playing Soul because there was a pick we got 4 point club by them a while ago, and the other day we went 3-1 map count on them, and I was like, wow, we improved. Like it's showing we're better. We're not better, but we're showing we've gotten better as a team. Like scrimming better teams makes you better.
Yeah, because I feel like you can also take stuff from how they played and really put it into
Yeah.
your own thing. Like I know I used to, like once I used to actually play competitive, I used to take what people used to use and really use it in my own gameplay. Or if I was watching streams and everything, I used to really take strats and everything. And I know it's pretty stupid, but it's
I do the same
really
thing.
it's sports. Like even in
Yeah.
sports they do it. You have those. Like, if you want to have practice, you're not gonna play. Your little brother. When you're playing baseball, you're gonna try. You're gonna get the best team that you can play, and then learn from them. Same thing as esports. You want to play the best teams, and I feel like people are really scared to play Soul, and I feel like it's a good thing as well. Also, Aerial, like people are really scared to play them. It's a good thing because that's the intimidation factor. Because if they don't want to play you online, then you get called up for the round on ETG, and you hear that you're playing the team that you dodged online. I feel like it's gonna be going through your head like, damn, like now
Yeah.
they finally get to play us. They're gonna be mad because we dodge, and we're gonna get yelled at because it goes through my mind as well. Like I've been in that situation where I didn't want to scrim a team and then end up playing them first round at the event. I mean, any closing thoughts about that? We get to our next topic. You guys good?
Yeah.
I think like there's those teams that you don't want to play because they're really good, but then there's also the teams that you don't want to play because they're necessarily not good practice, and it's just like there's some other teams you'd rather scrim though.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of teams actually have like a circle, I guess, of who they want to scrim. They don't want to play the best, but they don't want to play the worst. They just kind of want to play the people that they know that will get a good fight. And I feel like maybe I can understand not playing a good team, or not playing a bad team. My bad. Playing a good team is practice. Practice is practice. It's whatever. But if you're just gonna be shooting 4 bots on the map, I feel like something that you really gotta dodge. All right.
Even if you're playing a bad team, you can still get practice off it. You can still work on setups, like pushing off their spawn or making them spawn out a
And
long way.
it's easier as well because
And
like
loading spawns about where they're spawning.
they're
Yeah.
not. It's like they're not a good team, so you're more open to really work on work on spawning them out, work on your
Yeah.
setups and everything, because they won't really counter it because
Yeah.
they will barely get a kill on you. So,
Yeah.
but practice is practice, is whatever. 12 days to the event. I feel like any practice is necessary, even if you're playing pickups, and that's
Mhm.
really something that I have to flex with my team. They don't play. Well, they barely play as a team, and then when they're all not on, they're all kind of playing something else. And I feel like, getting closer to the event, if you're not like, even if your team's not on, I feel like jump into eight's lobby, jump in some pickups, maybe even play a pub. It's something that you got to keep on doing. So, I try to flex it with these guys, but you know, they're little buttholes, so they don't listen to me. I let them grind. I let them play. They're still a solid roster. I'm happy about that. So, so, all right. I guess we could talk about the player of the week, like we always do. I know you guys have your players of the week. I have mine. I'll start off, I believe. So, I am going to start off with. I think my player of the week has to be. It's a hard decision. I gotta say Dashi. I feel like Dashi has been really grinding recently. He's been in a lot of rosters that hasn't worked, and now he is on a pretty good team. He's just had that kind of fire into the little guy, and can't wait to see him. I've teamed with him before at HG, and I've known him for about 3 years, so yeah, he's definitely my player of the week for this podcast. Um, I guess we can start with you, Ryan. Who's your player of the week and why?
I mean, my player of the week would have to be, I think, Joel Cod, because I think him getting on this new roster, like he hasn't really been on a team for I think a while now, and for him to go to an actual, I don't even remember the last time he went to LAN. I mean, I would have no clue if he's been to one either, but I think he's a really smart player. And I mean, he's like a really good friend of me, and I think he's improved a lot this past couple months. So.
All right, awesome. Liam, who's yours?
I think my player of the week is my teammate Breezy. He got him. He struggled online because he had he had like a bad monitor, and then he bought some new equipment, and now he's been like gunning. He's been doing really good. Yeah, Breezy, my teammate, definitely improved.
All right, awesome. That was pretty quick, to be honest. No, but all three good players, and they've all been grinding, and like I said, like 5 times this podcast, 12 days to the event, and they've all really been showing their colors as players. So that's pretty awesome. So now one thing that I really wanted to get a little more into, is really placings for the event. We've always talked about it every event, every podcast, and with these new rosters, I feel like maybe stuff will change. Maybe teams will go up in the ranks, go down in the ranks. And I'll say 3 right now. We can talk about that, and then we'll say 3 more teams, talk about those placings, and then we should be good. So I think the 3 teams I want to put my focus on has to be Scruzzer's team with Aries. Probably I can say Shifty's team. If you guys don't know, it's Shifty, Critical. I don't even know shit. Shifty, it's Shifty's team. Like Shifty's bet supremacy, whatever roster he's gonna get,
Yeah.
and then Josh's team. Actually, you know what? No, not Josh's, because I don't even know Josh's team. Ryan's team with the pickup of Austin. So I'll start off with Ryan's team. Last time I believe I gave them a top 8 placing. Now that I kind of feel like they're really playing more and grinding, I think generally I'm not really taking any sides just because Ryan's on the podcast, but I think they could definitely move up to that top 4 placing. I feel like they've gotten close to it before. And wait, what was your last placing?
It was top 7.
Yeah, so you're right next to that top four placing. One more round in, and you're gonna be doing it. And you're basically going with the same roster, besides Spry. And I don't know the situation with that, but Ethan's a really good player, as you said before. So I think you guys can definitely do the same run that you had at NJ Rod, and then maybe even take one more away from whoever you play. But I can definitely say a top four placing is pretty necessary. As for Shifty's team, I've always given him that kind of top eight placing. But it's pretty. It's something that I I really can't call it out because I don't know their roster for the event, and seems like he's gonna be going to the event with another um pickup. So maybe he has that good placing, but it's always cool. It's always funny to see Shifty plays bad. So I think I'm
Uh,
gonna say probably top 12, top 9 around there as the best placing, but DFR wouldn't be that bad.
how many teams are going to ATG? Like 64? Some
Yeah, there's gonna be
crazy
a
amount
lot
like
of
that?
teams.
Like, a top 12 placing is actually pretty good at this event. Out of 64 teams, like, personally, I think that's my team. That's what we're shooting. Well, personally, that's what I'm shooting for. Top 12, top 8, around that area. There's quite a few teams going.
I bet. Um, I mean, what is Oh, Scarzer's team. Yeah, I gave them a pretty bad placing when they had outside's team. They had like top 24 to top 32, but I feel like with Aries and Starkey and now Joel, I feel like they've kind of gained my, I guess, approval to go a little more up. So I feel like I could give them same thing as Shifty, top 12 to top 9, but that's really where Starkey and Aries is really placed at these events. Same thing with I believe. No, that actually those are the only two players that has done that. I think Joel's plays pretty good at ETG, but that's really it. So, yeah. I mean, what's your thoughts on that? Any other teams you guys want to add on? You know, talk about it.
Mm, I don't know.
I mean, I'll add on to Squazzer's team because I put a TS against them yesterday. I mean, I feel like they'll get a top 12 to top 16 placing. Only we TS'd them yesterday. We didn't lose a map to them, and they were asking us about advice on what they can improve on. So there's definitely stuff that every team needs to work on. And I think that they could do good if they just play every day. But like, I don't see them getting like a higher place, like a better placing than like maybe a top 8, like max, maybe. I don't
Yeah. Um, I don't know. I feel like a lot of teams have that top 12 to top 9 placing on their side. I mean, one more roster is Liam's roster. I don't know what you guys placed last time. You guys have really, I mean, not calling you guys out, but you guys haven't really had that placing that you guys really deserve as a solid roster. You know, what do you guys think? As a team, do you guys think you guys have improved since the last event? Do you feel more prepared going to this event?
We've definitely improved. Like, from last event I didn't go to, but the March 4th we got top 12, and then the last one I think with the Finland they got top 12 again. So I think we're definitely out. Like, we definitely want to get better. We definitely want to place high this time. We want to do the respect we deserve for being a set team for so long. I don't know. Let's shoot for the top 12.
Yeah, I can honestly see like maybe a top 8 to 6 place. Because
Yeah.
you guys, I guess since last ETG, you guys didn't really get the placing you guys wanted. Now that you guys have another fourth that you guys have been really grinding with. Oh, my bad about my chair. You know, you guys really have that factor that people know that you guys have been teaming for so long and you guys know strats. So I could say
Yeah.
top 8 to top 6 is a pretty good placing for you guys. Uh, okay, I guess we can. We already covered Soul's roster. We covered my roster. I mean, really, I feel like a lot of the little teams going to these events that are not really known. I feel like Dashy's team is one of them that not a lot of us have really talked about. And other rosters, I believe, like Atrocities roster. Um,
Fusion's roster got a roster change too. I just remembered.
Fusion just doesn't have a. I don't even believe Fusions has a
Fusion, no,
roster.
Fusions. It's like Quimsy, Fusions, Element, and they're like just testing out other people. Like I scrimmed them the other day. They're playing with Littlefoot. There's, I think, I'm sure they're just trying to find the right fourth.
Yeah. And then also there's a lot. I've seen a lot of teams that have these AMs going to these events, like Ristavai's team. With Flash, these guys are getting funded for the event. They ended up winning a tournament to actually get full funding for the event. Teams like that, I feel like will have their match at the event. They can get really high placings. I think really Seoul. I can't really say this as like a bashing thing, but I feel like Seoul is the only team that's gonna really contest with them. Maybe Ariel as well. It just depends what happens at the event. Because I feel like people really stress about bracket bless, but it happens, and when it happens, you should really praise it. Because if you get bracket blessed, but it's a clean slate, and it's you really don't have no control over it. It's not like you're telling them who you want to play, etc. But and it's also another thing that a lot of teams really stress about. If they get bracket blessed, they're always talking about it in a bad way. But you know, I mean, any closing thoughts or any other topics?
I was gonna ask you guys what do you guys think like Damien or Jeff's team is in a.
Oh yeah. So I believe we gave them the placing from before, but that was when they had Austin. It was Austin Scott. So they done the switch from Austin. I feel like he's been on like two rosters that he's really left, and then they've just picked up a new fourth. Slay in Motion. I know he's just coming back. He was on BO3. He was amazing at BO3. I remember him. So coming to ECG, I could say they definitely have the match for T5, T4, T6. But it just depends how much they're playing. It depends how much grind they really put into the game. So yeah, I think a good placing for them would be top six around there.
Yeah. I scrimmed Creativity's team, and we got smoked. Then we scrimmed them a couple days ago, and we traded maps, I think. I mean, yeah, they're a pretty good team.
Yeah, 100%, dude.
They're actually I just saw on my Twitter right now. The team is Chris Radio, Ethan Too Nice, Goddesses, and Brandon Slayer. They're now a team of four looking for an org to represent. So I don't know if you guys want to talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, they just got top four at E-Bash. They got in the money.
Yeah.
Oh, that's yeah. Wow, that's actually
Yeah. That's it. I also team scrimmed them. They're a pretty good team. I think if you pick them apart individually, you can beat them pretty easily.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good roster.
I mean, I think they have chemistry. I'm pretty sure Goddesses, Chris Radio, and Brandon Slayer have teamed together before, and I know Chris Radio just went to E-Bash with Ethan Too Nice, and they got top four.
Yeah.
Falcon and Team Money. So I don't know. That would be another team I think that would be close games with my team
Yeah.
at least.
yeah, dude. I mean, overall, I feel like our podcast is around an hour, but I feel like we can end here. Like I said before, Greg wasn't really here to conduct a lot of stuff. And we kind of, I guess, not that really stuff has happened through the weeks. I feel like that's something that in a podcast you really need. You need a lot of drama, and there's not been a lot of drama in the recent week. But ETG's coming around the corner. There's gonna be one more podcast until the event. Then, from next podcast on Wednesday, we're gonna be having, I believe, 4 more days until the event. We're gonna be doing a special at the event, probably just talking to a lot of players, how they think, the matches are gonna go. Little questions, just gonna pop around and talk to a lot of people. So can't wait for that. But I mean, I just want to say thanks to Ryan and Liam for coming
No problem.
on the
No problem,
podcast.
pal.
You guys were great. Like we said before as well, we're gonna be doing 2 more players for the next week. We just still haven't decided who that is going to be, but can't wait to find out. But hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. Sorry for it cutting in about 20 minutes less from what we usually do. But hope you guys enjoy. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure to also check out our Twitter. And you guys can be a little posted up on what we're going to be doing and who we're going to have. But see you guys later. Peace out.